Oh wait, gotta share my screen.
Right.
Nothing happened, dude. Don't think
And
of
just
it. Don't think something
continuing our
happened.
natural conversation about times of the day and 3 to 4 a.m. specifically.
And goddamn this goddamn thing. Uh,
And God damn it.
so yeah. Oh, you guys
So yeah,
talk while I get this shit.
3 a.m. is bad. It should be in D tier because of the
You just don't
fact
want to
that
do
not a lot of
anything.
people are out. There's no energy at 3 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
No, even when you're like at the sleepover, like by the time like
None
3 a.m., like
exists.
some people are falling asleep by this point, and if you can't sleep and you're the only one up, it kind of sucks. And it's usually the case around 3 and 4 p.m. or a.m. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, it's just like I said, like you don't even want to really eat anything. You're just like, why am I up? You know?
Yeah, it's like it's really
Why am
frustrating
I
when that
here?
happens, especially for me because 4 a.m. the next thing we're gonna get into um, is kind of like my start of my day. So if I wake up at
Oh,
3 a.m.,
really?
yeah. So if I
Hello.
wake up at 3 a.m., I'm like, oh dang it, like there's no point of going to bed.
Well,
But
we'll
now I
put
have
it at
maybe
the
a little
bottom then.
hour. Yeah, it's so
Yeah,
out.
put it at the
Yeah,
bottom. It's the one you
God.
don't like to see on the clock.
it's
Yeah,
stupid, man.
Yeah.
It's dumb.
I don't like. Yeah, yeah, but
I
4
do
a.m.
have a time like that too.
No, I don't mind 4 a.m. I think it's a nice hour to wake up at.
That's your opinion.
Yeah, yeah. Like
I
there.
wouldn't wake up here,
Well, I
but
like
I've
to.
had a lot of like whenever I have an overnight, whether it be I'm out partying or I have to like cram something for back in college or whenever the case may be, when I hit 4 a.m., I've made it. I'm like, okay, this has been all night. The sun will be up like within the next hour. I
You
did
can
it.
get at least a couple hours in if you can sleep in.
If you can
Yeah.
sleep, yes,
Yes.
You
you
guys
can
ever
Yes.
pulled
still
out
get
all
that
nighter
last.
where you stay up 30 minutes before class
Oh,
Yes,
yes,
and then
I
say
have.
yeah,
I
yeah, those are
I,
bad.
I don't know if I could or would even be willing to do that now, just because I know
Mm-hmm.
I'm like health is more important, and
that's yeah.
ultimately
That's
I'm
the
like
thing.
it's
It's
not worth
never a
it.
good idea. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
But
groggy.
4 a.m. But that's why college and stuff. Time management is the biggest skill you learn. But speaking of time management, why do you get up at 4?
I get up at 4 because I get my run in the
Oh.
morning, and I go to work at
Okay.
7, and I don't want
Ah,
to
Oh man, he's one of
work
those. He gets up. He's the
out.
guy
Yeah.
jogging
you like
early
you
in
Well,
the
like a
no, no, no.
morning.
I
run in the
go to Planet
morning,
Fitness. I don't want to go in the afternoon because Planet Fitness is so packed, and everyone's getting
right?
off around 5, around the time I'd be getting out of the gym. So it'd be a trek to. I'd just be caught up in the traffic and stuff. So like once work is done, my day is done, and I don't have to be like, oh, I didn't exercise or whatnot. So I like to get up at 4.
It's
Plus,
You're
I'm an
you're
early
smart.
bird anyway. I like naturally get
ah
up. I always have naturally got up at like 5, 6 in the morning. Like so getting up at 8 in the morning
really.
is like sleeping in to me. So
That's
It's funny. I have always been more of a night creature, I think, but because my dad is, I think too. I think it runs in the family. But uh,
mhm.
I knew some people. Yeah, they like a long morning, and your day feels so much longer when you get up earlier.
That's
yeah,
true.
yeah, I like that, and I hate because I work a 9 to 5 office job, and the usual
Yeah,
default schedule is at 8:30 to 5. And for me,
right.
I'd rather like the morning half of that shifts to me go by so fast, and the afternoon doesn't. So I'd rather have my
Uh,
majority of my work schedule to be like that 7 a.m. to 12 because everything like
yeah,
goes in slow motion after. And then I only have 3 hours after that, and I get to go home. It's opposed to the
right.
5.
Yeah, it's a
Logically,
slog.
everyone's still open at that time too. Like part of the what sucks about my shift right now, I have 10-hour shifts and everything is closed when before I get there and then it's closed
Oh,
after I leave. So
we'll
I
talk.
have
We'll get
no
to that
choice.
time later.
Talk
But
about
Ugh.
for
appointments.
me, at least, I don't like 4 a.m. But if I wake up in the middle of the night and I see 4 a.m., I'm like, oh, I got plenty of time to sleep still. So,
Oh,
That's
for
true.
sure.
but I don't work the same type of
For
nine to
some of us.
five, obviously. Yes, exactly. So 4 a.m. I don't, it's not as bad as 3 a.m. in my opinion, but I don't like it. So I don't know. It's up to you guys though.
I like, but I just think it's cool because like, I think 4 a.m.'s a good takeoff if you're going on a road trip and stuff like that. It's great takeoff time.
Oh wow, yeah.
And I like the
I've never gone out the
metamorphosis.
door.
Really? Well, I mean,
No,
it's nice.
We overpack.
well, to
Oh,
like wake
true.
up, like maybe not like leave, but like be up and like brushing your teeth, getting your stuff together on the road around by 4:45 ish. But just to see it switch from nighttime to daytime is always cool to me. Yeah.
True,
That's
but that
true.
usually happens
So-
around 5 a.m.
Right, but you're wide awake
But-
for it. You don't miss it while like brushing your teeth.
That's
The
true.
idea is you get out a little bit before the sunrise. Like nobody's on the road like for the stretch. Plus, it depends on how long your road trip is. But the idea is like you're already on the highway and you've been driving for a little while, and then you start to see it come up, and then like you kind of
That's true.
you get the
I've had
light for
that
your
happen.
majority. It's like a very specific timing though with whenever the sun comes
It's
up.
like running over a speed arrow in a racing game too. You're like, okay, I've already been on here a little bit. Maybe I was tired, but now that sun's
The
cracking
lack
through.
of traffic, yeah. I'm
Lack
sure
of
it's nice,
traffic is
too.
cool, yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
4 a.m. We'll give you a C. Yeah, we'll give you a C.
Yeah, you're
not
right,
bad.
because
What
I
did you
guess
see?
being out at 4 a.m. too. Well, actually, it's a little like this being out at 5 a.m. if you don't live in a big city where, like, when I've had to, like, drop my dad off at, like, the train station or stuff like that, where it's kind of fun to be out when, so, like, you've gotten some sleep, you know, and, you know, you had to be up early and it kind of sucks, but it's kind of neat being out when no one's awake,
Right.
you know? But that's why I like 5 a.m. a little better than 4 a.m. just because I think 5 a.m. it's not complete darkness still. It doesn't feel like the dark of night. 5 a.m. it's like that, you know, it's kind of like that blue, like daybreak hour.
That dawning.
Yeah, like it's not fully light. Like 6 a.m. is when the sun really starts coming up. 5 a.m. it's like it's dark, but it's not totally dark yet.
Mm. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
I don't know. How do you guys feel about 5 a.m.?
Well, 5 a.m. used to be my marker in school. I think I used to like to get up at 5 because I was
You
like
could
the
get up at
guy.
5.
Yeah, for when we were in high school, because I was the
Yeah.
type though. I wanted a little bit extra time, honestly, to play games and video games and stuff. So I get up and I would get,
Cool.
Yeah.
I would get ready, and also I had siblings that like to get ready in the morning. We all like to get ready in the morning. I didn't want to get caught up in the hustle and bustle
Oh,
of
yeah.
intertwining, and while they're arguing, I'm just arguing with someone on Xbox. So 5 a.m. used
It's
to
a
be my
gamer
start.
grind set.
Yeah. So I like
That's
5 a.m.
that's interesting. Yeah, and I like to get up early to have longer mornings in high school as well. But that's because I needed to get work done because I procrastinated. So I knew if it was one that I got up, I usually got up 6 was my default. But and I would get at school at 7 because
Right.
I liked being
Right.
at the school very early. But I knew I had a long day ahead if I got up before 6. So if I was getting up at like 5:30 or 5:45, I knew like, okay, I got a lot to do today.
Yeah.
But yeah, 5 a.m. I've not been up at 5 a.m. in a long time, thankfully. Yeah, and I prefer not to if I can avoid it, just because I am one of those guys. I'm one of those guys where I feel messed up if I don't get the right amount of sleep.
I hear that.
Some people, like you're probably someone you can run on like 3-4 hours and you're like, I'm good.
Yeah.
No,
I can
hell
get, yeah, I need lots of sleep. Yeah.
no. I need like 9
so
hours.
I don't like being up at 5 a.m., but it's kind of a cool time to be out. So I don't know. It's like a B.
Yeah, I give it a B.
Oh
man.
man, I have the total opposite relationship with 5 a.m.
Okay.
I see 5 a.m. and I think like, oh god, I only have an hour left to sleep because 6 a.m. is my cutoff. So
That's true.
I like to, if I do get up in the middle of the night, I like a nice 2 a.m. wake up in the middle of the night, or 3 or 4. But if it's 5, I'm like, oh god, it's only an hour.
You might
left.
as well
and,
just
and
be
then
up.
you might as well just get up and start your
That's
day. But I hate
true.
starting
Yeah,
my
5
day
a.m.
early.
5 a.m. might be a C for me. Yeah, those early
Okay,
AMs
yeah.
are still
feel
tough. But I don't know. But you know, Josh is kind of the freak.
Well,
Josh is-
I am the freak.
Josh has
I love the
already
morning.
ran
I think-
2 miles. He's already showered. He's already
Yeah, but honestly, by
played
5
Brian
a.m.
said.
2 games.
By 5 a.m. I'm already walking. I think out of 5 a.m. I'm on the treadmill. 6 a.m.
Hey.
We're walking out of the gym. type.
And then it's game time. And then it's
Oh
Xbox.
no! I don't have time anymore. That was high school for sure. Maybe back in the pandemic,
Hey.
I would
I
get
can't
up
believe
real
we didn't-
early and game all day for sure. But
I can't believe we didn't we didn't bring up this clip. I don't know if you guys seen it, but it was going around online last week. It's this guy. He's on some podcasts, and he's like, "I break up my day. Like, what was this? Like, I break up my day, so I get 14 days a week." So he's like, talks about how he breaks up his day. Like, he's some like roided out looking dude who's like talking about his grind set.
Hell yeah,
I know. I wonder
Bretter.
if I can.
How I break my days for 14 days in a week. I think we should
It's not
break
these
up.
Guys. It was on like it was on like
Let's see
Twitter
Russell
or
Brand.
something. Here, I'm gonna
Oh,
find it for you guys here because I think I had it in my likes or something. It was but anyway, you guys can discuss the next one here. We can hop
Here
to
we
the next
go.
one while I'm looking
all right,
for it.
so 6 in the morning. Like they said, I am a morning guy. I think the morning is the best times. I always loved them as a kid. For some reasons. 6 in the morning though, it's just a weird one. I think 7 is the better version. Like if you're gonna get up at 6, or do something at 6, I'd rather push it to 7. Me, if I can work though at 6, that'd be good, but I can't. So, but anyway, at 6 a.m. is
this
kind
is
of
the
weird.
start.
Yeah, it's the
It's the
start.
start of the day. It's like the sun's up by this point. It's like when a lot of people are starting to get up.
This is the time when people will consider
Still
themselves early birds. I'll let them do that. I still think you're not a true early bird if you're at 5 a.m. or 4 a.m. I only say that because my girl, she gets up at like 5. Her mom is an early bird like me at 4.
Pick up a Farmer's Almanac.
I could pick up
America.
Yeah, exactly. But 6 a.m. it's not bad. I would say it's better though, mainstream wise. It's a better AM than the 4s and the 5. So
I could see it being a better AM than a 4.
I think it is too because like I don't love being out at it, but up at that hour. But at the same time, I'm like, all right, I get up at this. Like if I need to, 6 a.m. Like if I'm up then, I'm usually nowadays at least doing something somewhat exciting, or at least something something important.
Right.
I guess you know what I mean.
Like a meeting or something.
Because I don't work right since I give myself more time to sleep in now since I work at home. But 6 a.m. feels like I'm going somewhere. I'm going on a trip, or at least I'm taking the train into the city or something like that. So 6 a.m. like it's not my favorite by any means, but it's not so bad.
Exactly.
It's like when the world kind of wakes up. Same with 7 a.m. I think is a nice regular time to wake up if I had it my way. But
6 a.m. is the start of the business day. 7 a.m. I think is the start of the pedestrian day. Maybe old timey.
That's well put.
But I know that like 7 a.m. is a good time. Usually people got to be at work 7 to 8, so they're up around that time, buzzing around. Yeah. So I would get 7. I would put it at the A. I like
really?
7 a.m.
All right.
I don't know about you guys.
I like 8 a.m. better personally.
Okay.
I like 8 a.m. because at that point, 8 a.m. the sun is up. You're not as groggy. You've probably had or having breakfast. Like 8 a.m. is generally when I like to get up if I can, but I'd be lying if I said I don't end up getting up at 9 sometimes.
Not on the weekends.
But 8 a.m. feels good. Like, again, if you have no commute, 8 a.m. I can just like get up, eat breakfast, maybe shower, and then I'm already working by 9.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
And maybe because... Oh, go ahead.
Well, past 9, it's like you don't want to. You want to get your work started before 9. I would think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it depends.
Unless you're totally making your own hours. Not a lot of places. Maybe 10 a.m. if you're in retail. Some places do 10 a.m. But I think everybody started by a 9.
Yeah. I don't really like
not always me,
9 a.m. To me, that's late.
But you get to make your own.
Yeah, true. I think
exactly.
This stems from summer, actually, me being a kid, because I would like to maximize my summers. So even me
Yeah.
becoming an
Yeah.
early bird probably started from that because I'm like waking up at 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. It feels nice, but I slept through half the day. What I came to realize as
I
I got
don't like
older.
sleeping in that late. Even when
Right.
I'm sleeping in, for me, sleeping in is 9:30.
Yeah,
Oh
That's
yeah.
really,
These days, yes.
I made
yeah,
my cutoff double digits. I'm like, if it's
yes,
10,
same here.
then that's too late. And so I'd always get mad when I woke up and turned. I saw like 9, 9:05, 9:30. I'm like, yeah, it's there, but it's only there by an
Yeah,
hour. I could have did better. I could have hit that 7. I could have hit that 6.
right. Well, and I also like being the first one up if possible.
Yeah.
You feel like you're just like left. If you still live with people, feels like it's time to yourself. You
True.
feel productive, but also waking up at 10. Now, here's the thing: I like 10. I just don't like waking up at 10, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like waking up at 9 a.m. is like that's nice on like a Saturday or Sunday if I'm sleeping in. I feel like I got a lot of sleep, especially if it's like raining. It's a great,
Mm-hmm.
way.
Relaxing.
I only would really sleep in past 9 if I'm feeling bad or if I didn't get any sleep that night and I'm catching
Sure.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree,
but
because still not as many cars on the road. If you're somewhere that lives in a high traffic area, you'll know this. Like
but
a horn can wake you up sometimes at 10
But here's
a.m.
the thing, I will say now, I know, you guys said like, business hours and pedestrian hours start earlier, but I admit I really don't like getting a phone call before 9 a.m.
I hear that.
Oh, okay, sure.
I don't
I
mind
do
like a
get that.
text, if it's a text I'm expecting, but uh,
It's funny because I'll
I
make an
don't,
appointment
yeah,
at 8 a.m., but I won't schedule a
well, I
phone
wouldn't.
call until after 9. It's
Yeah,
funny.
well, that is the thing, because if I have an appointment planned weeks ahead at 8 a.m., I already know I got to be up, I got to be somewhere,
Sure, you
and
get to
sometimes I'll have to
plan,
do that
right.
for
You get to
medical
plan
things,
for it.
infusions,
You get there
but I don't know. There's
mentally.
just something really annoying about like it's 8:45, and I don't know. It's like
I'm trying to
health
eat or something.
insurance, or just
It's
getting some
always,
sales call, and
or I'm literally having breakfast, looking at something on my phone, and it's
yeah,
interrupted by a call. It's like, oh well, there's my morning routine there. Forcing me to start my day early, are you?
Yeah, for real.
yeah. I don't
It's
like it.
looking
Yeah, when people call me before 9, even 10 sometimes if I can help it, but it depends on when I'm
Right?
seeing them, obviously. So I don't know. I like 9.
Okay.
Just as like to be out and about, but I don't know. I don't feel strongly. What about you guys?
9 a.m. It's okay. I'd go B or C with it. Maybe not an
Yeah,
A,
it's a
but
B.
I
Yeah,
B C B. I'll give it
let's go
B.
it's a
B.
B for me. Yeah.
10 a.m. Maybe a C though, because
Mm-hmm. I agree.
like
It's the
this is
middle of
too
the morning.
late. It's too late for the morning at this point. You should
Late
be
morning.
doing something
Yeah.
if you're
10
our age
a.m.
and it's 10.
Yeah, I hate days where I sleep in and then like I haven't eaten breakfast by 10, and I'm like,
Right.
well, might as well be a smaller breakfast because soon I'll eat lunch.
Yeah.
Uh,
True.
Yeah, I
So,
usually
I
just
might as
round up. Usually have an early lunch or something around this time. Especially since I get up so
well,
early.
we used to it in high school. Now, my lifestyle again is so much later than it used to be in high school, and it's still later than you
mhm.
guys. So, 10 for me still feels like the morning, but I like I said, I don't like getting up at 10.
Hmm.
Uh,
Here's what I
yeah,
do.
I need to be
Something.
doing something by 10.
Yeah. Some like sometimes because you guys mentioned having breakfast, and I was thinking, like, sure, I'll have a light one early, but sometimes what I'll do on the weekends is I'll get up like early, like a 7 a.m. or an 8 a.m., and I'll like do a big giant brunch or something,
You usually
like
have time to
breakfast
make it.
food
Yeah,
usually. But
yeah.
yeah, I'll like do a big thing and then we'll eat at 10. So that is a good thing about
Mhm.
like a weekend 10 a.m. is like you can prepare something that like normally you wouldn't have time to
Well, and I feel like if you were,
stretch it out.
I
Right.
wasn't like a regular churchgoer growing up, but a lot of people, like I think 10 is when people
Right.
would still be at church on, uh, 9 a.m. is also when I post my comics on set between 9 and 10 a.m. on
And so keep an
Saturdays.
eye out on
Keep an eye
Saturdays
out
for
for
that.
sure. For that
You
drop.
guys share my new, yeah,
Oh.
Instant S
on
tier.
Webtoon.
Yeah, that's
Um,
forget that.
I don't know. I feel like 10 a.m. would be C though. What about you guys? I don't feel any particular way about it.
No, I don't feel too
Okay.
strongly about it. I think I feel more strongly about the next two coming up. So I mean,
Same.
BC.
Okay, right.
Same.
Yep. Yeah. No. Either or.
Yeah, 11 a.m. I like better, weirdly. Which is, well, sometimes yes and sometimes no. Because I like 11 sometimes because I'm like, oh, it's still morning. I have an hour left, and I like knowing I have a day. Because 11, I'm in the groove, at least personally, in my work. So, and then I know, like, oh, I have an hour left. It's 11. I'm dressed and all that. But you know, in school, 11 is kind of a tease because you just want that like break for lunch. And you're like, oh,
Small
come on,
lunch.
11, it's so close,
hungry.
but it's not. So 11 is nice when you want the morning to be longer, but it sucks when you just want it to go by.
I mean, that's a good case for a B tier to me because, yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with all that. I'm hungry a lot. It's my lunchtime at work, so I'm usually like right and ready.
Hmm.
No, but
I
it's
eat
not
lunch much
quite.
later, so yeah.
This was
That's true.
a
That's
pretty good
true.
time.
Wait, when do you eat lunch usually?
Me,
So you're
usually
getting it. You
between.
said you were getting into your work around this time.
No, I get into my work by 10, but usually when 11's rolling around, I'm like in the groove of it. You know what I mean?
Like into it, like stuck
Yeah,
into
like
it
like like
already.
like I've like
Yeah,
looked at my emails and stuff, and I'm just drawing usually.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, like right at what I want to be doing. Like if I'm still dealing with emails and stuff, like that's pain.
Oh yeah.
It's funny. We have like the same experiences. They're just at different times of the day.
Yeah. Basically, just, it all depends on like when you get up and start working. So I don't know. Yeah, 11's a B tier for me. I don't feel
I like it
strongly
at
about it.
B. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
it's a
cool.
pretty good one.
Noon, I don't know. Noon, I
Noon
like
is
better.
useless to me.
Really.
I
It's
don't
like
like
a,
noon.
it's like a halfway point. It's an anchor.
I always
Well, I
don't
just
like
like
it.
how.
It feels like it's a buffer between the morning and the afternoon and work time. I'd much rather see a 1 p.m. than a noon.
Wow. Okay.
Well, I guess though, if I'm not
I usually
thinking
take my
about work,
lunch at noon. Could avoid noon.
but I also just like the way noon looks outside. Like the sun's like directly in the middle, kind of,
Yes.
and
Right.
but it's not too hot yet. And I don't know. I just think of when you're a kid. I think that's when you start seeing friends. Because at least growing up, like kids down the street and stuff, like we didn't really hang out until afternoon. But noon, maybe
Sure.
11, maybe 11 if it was
11
earlier.
would be like, are we hanging out for the day?
Hmm.
For
Yeah,
the
so
neighbor kids.
noon is fun as a to me now, but I'm fine with. It just tells me that like, oh, it's almost lunch.
I don't like that it gets its own name. Just 12 or okay.
At 12
What about
p.m.
names for the other times of the day? You know,
Only
a little
midnight and
unfair.
stuff.
Yeah.
It's a
And
little
the witching,
unfair.
witching hour, and that's it. So it sounds
Yeah,
like
that's just a nickname.
y'all like noon. That's cool.
I
I
do,
would
yeah,
personally
actually.
give it a D. I just don't like. I don't like it. I've never liked
Really?
it
You don't like
mentally.
noon?
It's a weird mental thing with me. I feel like it's a stopgap between.
I'm okay to going down with C just for that fact.
Yeah,
don't-
yeah. I don't feel strongly about
Yeah,
noon.
I
You can
don't-
drag it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would drag it off. I wish it would go from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., but that's impossible. But 1 p.m., I like it because I'm like, all right, here we go. Let's get to the end of the day. It's usually a hard hour though to get through. I'm usually really tired around this time. Always have been.
Yeah.
I feel-
1 and 2, I start to get there.
Yeah, well, it depends because it's a little after lunch sometimes. That hits. Um, that's why I don't like 3, but that's because it's all in relation to when you eat lunch, right? So if you guys are eating lunch at like 11, makes sense. If I'm eating lunch closer to 1, the post-lunch tiredness hits me more around 3.
Sure.
1 is fine. Here's the thing. I have like a subconscious. I don't like 1 subconsciously as a kid because 1 o'clock was line up for the end of recess.
Mm-hmm.
Because recess, it was like, okay, lunch starts at noon, and then we get 30 minutes of recess, 30 to 1, and then so as a kid, it's like 1 o'clock. It's like, oh, it's back to work.
It did signify, like,
Yes.
it's putting that in your head.
I don't mind it now, though. I don't know. I think I like it better than C. It's I don't know. I'm fine with 1 now. I don't.
I'm okay with 1. I mean, what do you think, Josh? Any
One's
reason
cool.
to put it in this?
I mean, I just think it's just because it makes me tired, and that it can't be a good time, but it's not a bad time because it is almost the end of the
it's
day.
not.
And the
I like it better
recess
than.
thing.
I think I would
Yeah, the
put it in
recess
B, but
thing. And
Yeah.
also, this was. I know in middle school and high school, I always got unlucky with math, seeming to be in the afternoon, and I fixed that in college. I
Yeah.
made sure I top loaded my
Hmm.
schedule with all the hard classes, so I'm more alert and
Yep.
awake. But yeah,
Sure.
Yep.
they always wanted you to learn math in the afternoon for some reason.
I know when you're most tired.
Yeah, and science at the end of the day. At least that was a pick me up for my interests. Like that was like
Right.
the fast forward to the end of the day. But I was like, for the person who hates science, like the other kids, they hate this shit.
2 p.m. is a nothing time to me.
I can see that. It goes by pretty fast,
really-
though.
This is where
does.
I definitely need another cup of coffee.
2 p.m. to me is like I don't know. It just goes by. You just don't pay it much mind.
Yeah.
I'm totally neutral about 2 p.m. It's a good time to do a pod sometimes. Good time to if you're hanging out during the day. It can be a fine time to see someone.
Right, a visit. Right.
Well, you put it in S tier?
Oh, just because it was
I was gonna say
Koala Bear
D
gang
tier.
time. D tier.
It is koala.
You're going to say D?
I don't, this is when I take a nap. It's forgettable.
Well, because
I'm tired right now. I'm tired right now.
Well, doesn't that make it a good time in a way? If it's like, oh, I get to go
for
sleep.
a recovery. Okay.
Well, I don't
I
know.
like
It
that.
depends
I
on
like that
how you
logic.
look at it. I'm not trying to sway your opinion.
This is funny because I feel like this is the one like where we're hardest to agree on because we all have different sensitivities to schedule somewhat. Like 3 p.m. is I don't like 3 p.m. and I definitely don't like 4 p.m.
I'd say I would
times.
say I dislike 3 p.m. more than 2 p.m.
Interesting.
Yeah, I agree.
I really
Yeah.
don't like 3 p.m. So
I
whatever
used
we
to
put
like it because it was the end of
2,
school, but
Well,
no.
we'll put that, and then we'll put 3.
But even so,
the
then I
bottom,
would
the
like more
threes.
4
The
because
threes
I
stay
wasn't
on
like
there.
settled after school until like 4, and I'd be into my video game.
No, 4 is cool when you're a kid because you don't have to do your homework yet. At least I didn't.
Right.
Like, okay, I'm still on break.
Right,
But
I
now that I'm trying to work until I try to work until 5 or 6. 4 is okay. I'm running out of time here.
Right, I feel
Like,
that.
and if I make dinner a lot, so 4 p.m. I'm like, I'm gonna have to
Gotta
make
get it
dinner
going.
soon. Like, I got to start wrapping it up. So 4 gets a little stressful, and also 4. Sometimes it's like, okay, I got a little over an hour left today, or I could have longer. But then the tiredness will sometimes hit me hard at 4.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm
Sure,
like,
because
well, I wanna
that's
just
how I'm
take a
feeling
nap.
about 3. That's another
Yeah.
nod to how we're just almost there. We're at maybe an hour off where your 3 p.m. tiredness starts in it, but then like sometimes by 4 you're like, I can't. I need something, or I gotta do something.
It's in some ways I don't think it's as bad as 3 because 3 is like 3 p.m. is like it's too late to feel like start anything to do with my day,
Mm-hmm.
but it's also it feels too early to stop certain things.
That's
so
Yeah,
but
that's how I
sometimes
feel on Saturdays when I'm working on other stuff like music and
yeah.
whatever. If I don't start if I don't start by 3 or 4, I'm not gonna do it. And if I
Same.
don't, if I'm still doing it, I'm usually gonna quit by 3 or 4. Like I'll look over and see
Right.
that time. Like, I think I've done a lot today. 'Cause I usually start
Right.
early at like 11 or 12 if I'm like
Yeah.
mixing and mastering or recording.
I
Like, yeah,
love
3 or
I love
4
a
is
day
good.
when I'm done. I love a day when I finish work early and I'm done by 4. I'm like, oh, I got a little time to myself and I can just relax because that's really just what you want to do.
It's in-
So I don't know.
in that
4
boat.
p.m. is a C one.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's a big C.
See,
5, I
C.
think, would be another D for me. 5 p.m.
Yeah.
It's too congested.
Yeah.
Most of the people
Traffic.
get
Terrible
off
time to
work.
drive.
Terrible time to drive. Also on the weekend, it's like that weird hour where like something might happen at 7, or it's
Mhm.
this. It's not an event hour. It's always an event ending, or
Yeah.
like nothing happens at 5 necessarily. It only ends at 5.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
and there's a
Starting
reason
things
for
at
that.
5 is hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to call it 5 either. I'll call in the afternoon. I'll call maybe during my day, but not. I just this is when
Because it's dinner time. Well, it's almost dinner.
and pretty much anytime after that, it's like don't call me if it's for business. Like I'll call maybe a friend out at in the evening or
Right,
something.
right. The work day is over.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Don't call me.
You're just trying to get home. Yeah. 5, yeah, we don't like. 6 is a little better. 6, I
I would
just
give it
a
a
sort
C.
of.
We're
Yeah.
eating.
Well,
I don't know.
yeah. I think of it as universal dinner time, so I'd give it a B.
Oh
but,
yeah. That's true.
One
Yeah.
more for the food.
Now 7,
Uh,
I would give it
7
an
7
A.
is like tea time.
I mean an S.
This is
I like-
like. Yeah, this is your evening activity. I like maybe S
yeah,
for this
I like
one.
7.
I would say
yeah,
speed.
same here.
Most events start at this time. Most like
Prime time.
good like movie blockbuster times. I usually like to hit
Yep.
that 7 or 8 o'clock hour,
Mhm.
or the late show 10. But yeah, usually things start at 7 p.m.
Yeah,
that are
I
worth
agree.
going
7, ever since you're a kid, it holds a place in your head as like, this is when fun activities start, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I remember
Yeah.
so many like vacation Bible school type of things. Not that, but it's something like at a school I went to, they had something called Oasis, which was like a late night, kind of like Snowball, but not.
Oh, okay.
But it was just like a fun hangout at the school until Saturday morning type of thing. And now we start
Oh.
at 7. And
Yeah.
most
Nice.
like football games, I believe football games are like
Yep.
7, and yeah.
Yeah, it's usually, I mean, except, by like late October, November, it's dark by 7. But most of the time, 7's kind of like sunset. Even in the summer, sunset, it's kind of, it's not quite dusk, but it's like early evening and then it's early night for the
Yep.
winter. So,
Yeah.
and it's like a time when you're out and you're like, oh, the whole night ahead of you,
Yep, and that was another thing I'm about to say about the next
Exactly.
one, like 8 p.m. I feel like I look at the clock while I'm at the event, and I'm like, oh, we're just getting started, so that's another good time.
I still like 8, yeah.
Mhm.
And as you get a
8
little
p.m.
older
has an
too,
excitement to it.
Yeah, it does. The
I like
infinity
8
symbol
p.m.
even. You want to put it with an
Yeah,
S too? Yeah, like A-S?
yeah, no, I think 8 p.m. is, I think it belongs up there. 8 p.m. felt like, as a kid, it felt like, okay, this is kind of the last. No, I didn't like go to bed right at 9 or anything, but 8 p.m. still kind of felt like your last active hour.
Yeah.
Sure,
You know,
Play that
yes.
video
Because at
game
least-
for another hour. Yeah.
Right. Because at 9 o'clock, even though it was like you got to be asleep by 9 at my house, it was still like, all right, like it's grown up time, like
Yeah.
settle down.
Yes, right.
Like, you better start being quiet.
Get quiet, get cozy.
Yeah, like you better get in your room and you can read, you can draw, and do whatever. But like,
But
the
if I
living
hear
room is
one more
ours.
sound
Oh, yeah.
coming out of your room, I
Yeah.
will. So
Yeah,
help
so,
me
like-
God.
So
So
help
8
me
p.m.
God.
felt like get your time in then, and even as a teenager, 8 p.m. you're like, oh, still the night is young, and even of course in college I didn't mind going out at 8.
Right.
I would be like, yeah, we can start our plans at 8. That's fine. Even 8:30.
Yeah.
It's starting plans after 9. I admit, like I can be a bit of an old man. I'm like, because usually. I don't mind something starting later, but usually if I was going out, I'd be like, look, I got to be out of the house by 8, though.
Right.
What are we
Otherwise, like,
allergic to sunlight here?
Well, that's kind of how like my parents would be, and like even like early college, like living at home and stuff, like because I'd be like, yeah, I'm going out tonight, but I'd be waiting for something, and then like 8 o'clock rolls around, they'd be like, well, are you going or not? So
Well, it doesn't start yet. like, really?
right. So even if something didn't start until like 9 at 8, I'd be like, well, I can go maybe meet up, run an errand or something. Not everything's closed yet, so yeah.
Now 9,
That's true. I never.
I've
even
come to
considered-
appreciate
I do too.
as a streamer. I've come to appreciate because like active. If you don't know active streaming hours in the weekends, what I usually stream is usually 7-ish, but peak is 9 to 10. That's when you get
I can
people
believe that.
actually stopping by and hanging out if you haven't got people yet. And usually the video game community, that's when everyone's on, and you're done doing the events in real life. So now you're settled down at home and you're ready for a part 2 to your night, which is just hanging with the bros until 12-ish, 1 in the morning-ish.
9 p.m. is usually my time where if I'm watching wrapping up, if it's a longer one, maybe it goes closer to 10. But if not, I'm like getting out a video game. Like this is where, again, now that we're adults, our time, and it feels like we finally get like just time to ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yes.
At least that's how I feel. Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100% agree. So
sort of like how you were saying in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like the wind down solo time.
Yeah, it's an A. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It felt like as a kid, like this is like when night came on, and again, it was like, okay, mom and dad get the TV now and all that, but yeah.
They would watch Simpsons.
No,
they would watch Law and Order.
Hell yeah.
Back in the day.
You had more intelligent parents than my parents, clearly. So like
well,
mine are
like
putting on silly cartoon.
Well, my parents would always watch that and Medea, so I don't know what they're paying.
My parents have never heard of Law and Order.
Yeah.
Well, I remember because I would sometimes fall asleep in the living room a lot as a kid. I went through a phase where I'd like to sleep in a sleeping bag in the living room, but I knew I still had to fall asleep.
I did stuff like that too.
By a certain time, like 11 o'clock was my time. This is when I'm like 9 years old. I knew like by the time 11 rolled around, I was supposed to be asleep because
we'll get to
Grace is on. But we'll get to that. 10,
we'll get to that. We got one first.
10 is late
was
night
like,
eating.
Yeah, 10 used to be kind of late as a kid. It's not late to us now, but if I'm hanging out on a weekday, 10 is a little
wow.
late.
It's really late.
10 is like, I should be in bed.
I should be in bed, yeah. On the weekdays. I usually
well, because you get up much earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
that's true.
If you're more of a night owl like me, like, again, I might be doing dishes. I think at 10 is what I'm usually not still playing a game. I'm doing the dishes.
I think I've seen you start your games a lot of times at 10 p.m. because maybe you were doing something. I remember that. Like
watching
sometimes I'll have a late night.
And I clean up the kitchen first. Sometimes I do it after. Yeah.
A little notification. Oh, Splatoon 3. Oh,
hey.
Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, it's lately. Yep.
yeah.
I saw you get on last night. You were playing Smash, weren't you?
That's right. Yeah, just a little solos. Finally made it to Elite Smash with Samus. But I gotta do it again, because there's Dark Samus.
Okay.
Gotta do it all over again.
At 10
p.m.? 10
p.m. But usually I won't be gaming. Not at 10.
10 p.m.'s okay. I don't know. It's A or B. It's fine.
I would give it. Depends on where I'm at. If I'm outside, it's a B. If I'm inside gaming, like I said, the session starts at 9, so it's technically young. And I look over and I see 10. I'm like, oh shit! I'm gonna go get another high noon because we got a long night ahead of us, boys. Then that's when it's an A. So I wish it was like a 0.5, but I would.
It's a B plus.
I would give it a B.
B
but the
plus.
was B plus. 11 p.m. I guess is. I don't know. Do you guys like 11 more than 10?
Not really, because growing up, so like as a teen, it was kind of the regular curfew for nights. Maybe like if it was a party or something like special, I'd get a later curfew, like more like 11:30 or midnight. But most nights they're like, leave at 11 or be home close to 11. They weren't hard line with it, but generally 11 was the time. Like if I was out and I see like 11 o'clock, I'd be kind of, I gotta get home. And even now, like now at home, of course, if I haven't cleaned the kitchen and stuff before bed, I'm like, I gotta do. I try not to be like gaming too late or anything like that. Past 11. 11 is you're just basically getting ready for bed, kind of. At least for me, I'm boring.
Pretty much 11 is that winding down on any normal.
Like I might just watch a show.
I'm in the bed for sure by 11. If I'm not
We've talked a lot about nights out, but usually, no.
But most nights aren't out, obviously, and I think as you get older, 11 is usually like maybe I'll watch yeah, like an episode of a show before going to bed. Maybe I have a little snack.
Yeah.
Actually, I've had some very nice, like 10:30 and 11s, when they're in. Like I have
Oh, yeah.
like I'll have like a little yogurt in my show, a little snack before bed. 11's not so bad. I might put it at B actually,
Think
but I don't
so?
know. What about you guys though?
I think if anything, we've seen that most times of the day are either okay or kind of shit. So
Yeah, there's only
I'm sort of
very
depressed
few.
after
And
this
notice
whole
how
episode.
none of the
We live for
good
the
times are during work or school hours.
Right,
None of
right.
them.
America,
And most of the
what?
mid
Pay
ones are.
attention.
Yeah,
Well,
kinda.
that's the thing. It's like you either want to be asleep or you're like, okay, I'm working. The other ones, S tier. I mean, that's like even if someone works, they're up by that time, so you can see them. Day person,
Mm.
it belongs there. But I'm telling you, we might be doing our days wrong. So in the topics, I think I dropped that link. I found the video of that guy.
Okay, cool. Let me look at that.
Sure, let's
Pull it
see
up
it.
here. Yeah, it's in the topics. You'll see it. I found it on Twitter.
What could we do? Well, I mean, I just feel like I don't get enough done in my life. What could I possibly?
If you guys
do?
feel like none of these times are enough, this man has made a breakthrough in
This man, he's playing 4D chess while we're playing checkers.
And I'm not crazy. You're crazy for thinking
No, okay.
sorry.
Okay,
Excuse
great
me.
start.
Excuse me.
it takes 24 hours, just like some dude in a cave did 300 years ago. My second day starts at noon and goes till 6 p.m. That's day 2. And then the next day is 6 p.m. to midnight.
Wait, hold on.
6 p.m. to midnight is like
Start at the very
half
Yeah,
of a
I
day.
gotta run this back.
It's like
My
half.
day is
Let it
6
play
a.m. to
through.
noon, and I'm not crazy.
Short.
He's
You're
already
crazy for
like
thinking
off to the races.
So,
You
okay,
can
so
tell
it
his
says-
time
it
is
says
money for this
His
guy.
day is 6 a.m. to noon. I'm not crazy, you're crazy. All right. I'll accept that.
All
takes
right.
24 hours, just like some dude in a cave did 300 years
Did
ago.
he shout
My
on
second
that?
day starts at noon and goes till 6 p.m. That's
Okay, so he lives in 6-hour intervals. Just gotta get that down.
day 2. And then the next day is 6 p.m.
I guess-
to midnight. What I've done
If you
now is I
change
have
the
changed
rules,
So wait, when do you sleep?
Well, I think he does. He sleeps in a 6-hour interval, right?
Oh,
'Cause
midnight
then he
to
says
6.
like, yeah, he goes, 6 a.m. to noon. Then he sleeps for 6 hours. And 6, then he's up 6 p.m. to midnight, and then that's another day to him.
It looks like he's grabbing his words.
he
I
can.
love this next part.
to
The
manipulate
way he
time. I
lives,
know
he can see
Yeah.
editing, digital
He
editing.
goes, so now
of
he's like,
videos.
it's like I get 3 days out of every day of the week.
I've got 21
What
days a
he's
week.
saying.
Stack that up over a month, I'm going to kick your butt. Stack it up over a year, you're toast. Stack it up over 5 years, my entire life is different than it would have been otherwise.
What are you talking about, bro? I mean, people like that are just funny as hell. Like, so basically, all
And I
you're
love the
saying,
guy like listening to him, like, okay, like,
oh yeah, and then this is the guy. He said is a caveman. The guy with
like you
the
did 3 years
spiked
ago.
up gel
What?
hair. And he said like you're a
Giant
caveman.
ears.
Just
said-
like some dude in a cave did
he said
300
you're-
years
hold
ago.
on.
You're
You're
crazy for
crazy.
thinking it takes 24 hours, just like some dude in a cave did 300 years
Well, he
ago.
compared him to a caveman.
Oh, so he just was like,
Well, I don't think he's debate. I think he's just
Yeah, my
like
second
it's
day-
a collective you. But
starts at
Well, we
noon.
know what he's thinking as he's looking at this man say this shit.
well, yeah, because he's like, how many performance enhancing drugs is this guy? Because like he's really red.
He looked
I
pretty-
wonder if that was the lighting. Does he have
no.
And it
eczema?
goes till 6 p.m.
No, he's probably taking kratom
I think
or
he's
one
on
of those.
roids.
Yeah, he's on something that's making his blood pressure high. That's what energy stuff
Right.
does. It makes that blood. So he's turning red pilling.
It's 6 a.m.
But my thing is like, I hate people who say things like this and think they're so profound. All you did is talk about time management with more hyperbolic terms. Like,
Well, and also,
Yeah, he was just sort of dramatic about it, right?
yeah, he said that's my day. Like,
well,
just
first of
calling
all,
it something
also,
else.
acting like we're too evolved for like the cave. First of all, 300 years ago we were not cavemen. 300 years ago was like colonial era.
yeah, that too.
America,
Back
you
in
know,
the-
there were empires and ships, but anyway, but even then, acting like things because they were, you know, the way we always did them. It's good to question. You know, I'm not saying we can't revolutionize and open our mind, but nature, our schedule is sort of adapted from our natural rhythm. You know, as animals, we don't have good night vision, so that's why we tend to sleep in the night. You know, when we were, I don't know how long you guys were without power during that blackout here,
Oh yeah.
but I found we were out 5 days, and one thing I found again is when you don't have, you just naturally kind of wake up with the rising sun, and you after the sun goes down. Like I felt tired way earlier, and I felt like getting up much earlier.
Right.
It's just a primal visibility thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
As,
Like that's
as evolved apes, we don't have that night vision. No.
Yeah, exactly.
And
there it is.
I mean,
But
yeah,
I love the tweet on this because it's like a Seinfeld. It's like a Seinfeld plot. Jerry's
this girl I've
plot
been
line.
seeing is beautiful, but she chews with her mouth open. Kramer plot line. Yeah. For real.
It's like something Kramer would say.
For sure.
Jerry, I got it.
And he'd be feeling it.
Jeez. Well, these are the hours. We organized them. We got it all right. We got it all good. Yeah. So what
was
you
the
guys think?
ranking before? What did they have?
Yeah, can we critique
Like
that?
when we opened it, yeah. How did the community ranking?
11,
No.
Midnight, 7, 4 got a top tier. I can agree with that.
No.
6,
Okay.
6 p.m., 2 a.m. are your S's.
2 a.m. a bunch of alcohol.
No one likes 8 or 7.
8 and 7 are fine. They're not that
8
bad.
a.m. is great.
People seem to be all right on 8 p.m., and that's crazy. C on...
No, because that's when they gotta wake up because they're
Yeah.
because they're out
They're
till 2
lazy.
a.m. and they're
For sure.
Right, clearly.
11 p.m.
me who
is
woke
an
up at
A.
9 this morning because I was tired.
Why is 3 a.m.
Calling
an
them
A?
bums.
This guy definitely is like a... He just does... I don't know what they do, but I feel like they don't do much. I think 3 a.m. is good.
He asked Chat GPT what
Like,
times to put
Like,
in.
I will tell you, there was a time where I was not unemployed, but where I wasn't having much going on. Like, I have one or two jobs. I have one job, and I didn't have college. So there were days where it was completely to myself. I could do whatever I want.
Right.
And I could wake up at 3 a.m. on those days or whatever. But it never felt dope. Like, I'm just...
Oh, do you
I
mean
did
like waking
feel-
up at 3 p.m.? Like
No, 3
just
a.m.
sleeping
because
all
this
day?
guy likes
Oh.
3 a.m. So I'm like,
Oh.
I'd sleep in or stay up super late till 3 a.m. and,
Oh, okay. Yeah. I
Yeah,
see what
that's
you
weird.
mean. Yeah.
That's weird.
5 a.m. they love.
I know.
5 a.m. I can't. I
They
mean,
love 4 a.m. more than
maybe,
5.
but loving it
4 a.m. because they're still out. They're like, oh,
because
last
they're
call.
still drunk.
Oh, this is a
'Cause
burglar.
they're
This is a burglar. We found it out. This is a criminal.
These are the best times to do
He's
a
a
B&E.
burglar. It's the best time to break into someone's car.
Yep, midnight. He wakes up at 11, meets up with the crew at 7. All right.
Wake up.
I think
at
that's a
midnight.
wrap on this episode, though. So we're just going to peace out, guys.
Yep.
Thanks for watching.
All right.
And eat your